All right, welcome tennis fans. Thanks for participating in a Miss Hit Tennis hitting session. We got a little review of Indian Wells going to go on today. We've got a little preview of Miami, and yeah, well, it should probably be a short one, so we'll just go from there. Um, let's hit some balls. Boy, I am still terrible at that. All right. Okay, let's look at the schedule real quick. Always a good place to start. Where are we? Indian Wells just finished. So we just finished week 11. We are into the spring swing. We are now doing, which starts with our two American tourneys, Indian Wells and then Miami. We are now in week one of Miami. Now, these are 1,000 tournaments, combined WTA and ATP. So a big field, I believe, 96 player field. Top 32 get seeds, and then they play out for about a week and a half. Like right now, we're still doing qualifying. They don't need all of the 2 weeks to get through a 96 player field. Now, I believe it's is it Grand Slams that go 128, so they take the full 2 weeks. I don't quote me on that, but ultimately, what I found out is that Indian Wells really played out from like a Wednesday through the following Sunday, and those last 3 days are split up men's and women's on the semifinals. So women's semifinal, men's semifinal, final the last 3 days. So really, a lot happens in that first 8 days or 9 days, whatever that would be. Wednesday to the following Friday, we'll call it. No, to the following Thursday. So 8 days. In 8 days, they jam a whole bunch in there. So, and then remember, those first, the top 32 players still get buys. So, um, the first 2 days play out kind of slow too. You don't have many good matchups, right? So, anyways, that's where we're at. So this will be slow. This is a Monday, Thursday week. Um, So we'll just do a quick one today, kind of final thoughts on Indian Wells, quick preview of Miami, and yeah, and then we'll be back Thursday and we'll really get into it, similar to Indian Wells, where next week we'll just go day to day and yeah, and hopefully by the end of this week I'll also have the chat out on the main display, which would be kind of cool because hopefully when people start coming, I don't know. Lots of other streamers do it. Should be kind of cool. I want to do it. Anyways, let's see what we're looking at over here. Let's make sure we are streaming. Yes, I'm live. And then let's wrap up on Indian Wells. Not much to talk about, right? I already talked the day after Madison Keys lost. It was disappointing, not so much because she lost so badly, like 6-0, 6-1. But we won't rehash all that. Um, what happened afterwards? Mira Andreeva has arrived, 17-year-old Russian. I think she's Russian. Um, just to make sure I didn't misspeak, I'm gonna go see what little flag she's got over here. And they both have no flags, so that usually means Russian, right? Oh boy, I'm gonna look it up. Anya Sabalenka is a Belarusian. So Belarus also getting no international um, acknowledgement, at least at this tennis site. Um, but I've seen it also on ESPN. It's the same way. So then you've got Andreeva. So Mira Andreeva, Russian. Okay. Yeah, Russian. So Russian and Belarusian. Hmm. Well, the 17-year-old has arrived. She lost that first set and then she came screaming back and just beat her. And then here's the annoying one. Has Jack Draper arrived? I think he has. He's pretty fucking Iceman-ish. Like he just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And Oliver Rune, this is gonna be good. Some good points for him, even though he lost. So two young guns pushing up in the rankings, which we'll get into in a second as well. So that was Indian Wells. Let's now actually just talk about Miami. What we can take a quick look at in Miami is the women's draw, which is already out, which I don't understand exactly. But they left spaces, I think, for wild cards. Yeah, that looks like what's going on. So they're playing the qualifiers. The qualifiers is a part where like the people all the players that aren't quite good enough to be in the field, they leave like 8 spots open, we'll say. I think it's actually different for men or women. I don't know how it's decided how many spots, but they leave a certain amount of spots, usually between we'll say 4 and 8. And they leave those open for a pre-tournament. So in the pre-tournament, you play qualifier round one, qualifier round two. May I don't know if there's 2 rounds, sometimes 3 rounds, but basically it's the next like group of like 40, maybe 32 players that don't. You know what? I'm gonna look this up and I'm gonna find this out. And but anyways, they play a couple rounds to like whittle the field down, and the last 8 standing or the last 4 standing, whatever it is, move over into the bracket, and then if you almost make it in but not quite, you still stick around for an extra day after you've lost in one of these qualifying tournaments, because if somebody gets injured or whatnot, or just doesn't feel right to play and they've got to retire, like they try to go, you hear this with like, big stars sometimes. Oh, I'm going to try to play. I'm going to try. They wait up to the last second. It's game time decision. And then finally they can't go. Well, then that's a new spot that's opened up. That's what's called a lucky loser. They take the next guy up from that qualifying tournament, they push him into his spot, and you get to play in the big main tournament as a lucky loser. LL is the designation. So basically, what I'm seeing here is, let me make this bigger so maybe other people can see it too. But going bigger than that, probably, is that they still are leaving spots out for all these qualifiers that should go. So what we can do is count how many there are. Looks like they've got room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a lot. 10, 11. Please let there only be one more. 12. Okay, so that 12 spots for qualifying tournament players. And you also notice another designation, and they'll get a little Q designation. You also see this WC designation, right? You could have a C designation, you could have a wild card designation, you can have a Q for qualifier designation. So all these qualifiers to make it in, they'll have a little Q, and that's how they got into this tournament. So you got in as a C, you got in as one of the top X. There's all kinds of different qualifying ways to get in there, and then those are the 3 other designations: wildcards, WCs, uh, LLs, lucky losers, and qualifiers. Q. Okay, so what was I gonna just say then? So that's interesting. I'm gonna count now how many wildcards they gave out. I guess this is much less, huh? Wildcard 1, wildcard 2, wildcard 3, wildcard 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, wow, 8 wild cards. 96 player field, right? So your top players, the people everybody knows, they're all getting seeds. You still got 64 more spots that you got to fill. Ooh, I forgot to turn my lights on today. Oh, well. Sorry for so much shadow on this side. Anyways, okay, that gives us a decent little breakdown into like what's going on and whatnot. So the wild cards are more for like, say there's a big star that applies for a wild card because she doesn't want to go through the qualifying tournaments. She's too prestigious, or he's too prestigious for something like that. Or maybe somebody coming after a long injury, so they've lost their ranking. But everybody in the world knows that they're one of the top, X numbers. They can push people through like that. That's another part of it that I'll have to look into some more and see what kinds of things. But that's kind of my basic understanding as of right now. Okay, so with that done, the men's single is not even out yet. So if you look at like what matches are scheduled for today at the Miami Open, you'll see it's a bunch of qualification round 2 for women's singles, and men's singles is a lot of qualification round 1. So I don't know how many rounds they are doing. Probably 2, I would suspect, and then we'll see that fill out in the next day or two. I'll keep an eye on that, see if I can't expand my knowledge in how that whole qualification into actual tournament stuff goes. Um, so I think that's good enough. Let's get into the matrix and make sure we've got that updated, right? We got all new today. And notice I've shortened it up, right? Remember we started at 40 and now we're down to top 25 only. So Corda is on the cusp of getting dropped. Let's see if he survives. And then over in the women, we have 6 players. Goff, Pegula, Keys, Navarro, Collins, and Nisimova, Fritz, Paul, Shelton, Tiafo, and Corda on the men's side. So, oh boy, we really need Shelton to step up because I'm afraid Fritz and Paul's going to stay steady. He's going to, I don't know that he can get much higher than 10, but I think he's got staying power for there. Fritz does, I don't know if he has staying power at 4. Well, we'll find out. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's open up. Let's start with the men. And let's see where we are. Fritz was 4. Well, first of all, let's put another thing in. I should probably do this beforehand and just. Okay, so we skipped that one in between because there was not much action. Well, yeah, I think they don't even update it. Again, I should probably look into the specifics of that. Okay, so where is Fritz? Fritz maintains 4 at 4,900. Novak's going the wrong way too. So, but he went up 2 because Rude and Medi are going down. Medi had to protect a bunch of points. That's why. He won't. Did he win it last year? No, he was. He lost in the final. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, to Alcaraz. Alcaraz, look, he lost points too. Zverev lost points. Everybody's going down. Jannik Sinner is going to get through his suspension still easily in first place. Although he's going to drop 1,000 at Miami, but whatever. So if somebody wins 1,000, if Carlos wins 1,000, it brings him up to 8,000. Anyways, okay, Fritz stays at 4. Tommy Paul goes to 13. 13. Uh-oh, Shelton dropped 2 to 14. So it happens when other people push past you. Tiafo had a terrible turning, but he's got enough points to maintain 17. And Corda. By 60 points, even though he lost 40, he hangs on to 25. The heck is going to be coming after him, and Shapovalov. Oh boy, and Nakashima, and hopefully Mickelson. Okay, so Corda stays. we can watch him through. Well, I guess I don't need these bolds anymore. I used to bold the top 20, and that's not necessary anymore because we're just doing the top 25. And what I will do is keep some sort of eye on those up and comers. I haven't figured out exactly how I'll do it. I'll probably do it at the tournaments. Like I'll make a young guns or keep an eye on type tab, or I'll work it in somehow. Okay, let's do the same thing for the women we just did for the men. Let's see what we're working with here. And we can do that over here on the world's worst website. Coco is still 3, Pegula is still 4, Keys is still 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Bang, bang, bang. You know what? I actually kind of like it better all being bold. Okay, does Navarro maintain 8? No, she drops to 10. Yeah, I think she's kind of like our female version of Tommy Paul. A little younger, but she probably caps out at about 8. She just doesn't hit as hard as the hardest hitters, and that matters at the very top. You should have seen Andreeva and Sabalenka, and Keys for that matter, even though she sucked and missed all her shots. Like, those people playing up at that level, Coco Gauff, they're just hitting the ball harder. 10 miles an hour harder. Okay, let's check out how Danielle Collins, I bet you she slipped a little bit too. Collins down 1 to 15. She's going in the wrong direction. And Anisimova up 1 to 17. Good. Good. Anybody new make it? No, because our next is up probably all the way down at about 40. It just skipped from 20 to 40. That's the perfect example of this shit website. So it goes from, what a rock. Load more. I pressed it once and it did nothing. Now I'm going to load more again. And it's going to skip all the way to 40. Oh, ridiculous. What? Just the worst built site in history. We'll do it this way. Okay, so we have Anisimova. See, this is the live ranking. Actually, we won't do it this way. We will do it this way. I might just all WTA rankings officials. Okay, so Nisimova is 17. Okay, that's correct. And then the next American is not in the top 25. Who's getting close? Katie Bolter. No, she's Britain. Not bad. Peyton Stearns at 43. We got a bunch of them right down here. Peyton Stearns, Sophia Kenin, McCartney Kessler. Um, I guess somebody else dropped. Alicia Parks down. Ooh, look at all those other USA's dropped. So a little higher. Easier to see with the flags on the WTA site, but the WTA site never works. So, anyways, those are the new ranks. I don't think there's anything too exciting here. Anisimova made her jump. I want her to just level out, get steady enough to be a top 15, 10 to 15, and just stay there for a second. That would be great for her, right? She's still got a lot of years left. And remember, she had done really well and then completely left tennis, took a break from tennis for like a year, mental health struggles. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't want to say, but basically she just needed a break, and then she came back, and then she's doing great. She jumped right up back in there. So like if she can just go steady Eddie. Collins, said she was going to retire this year, and then at the last second she's like, "Nah, I'll play one more year." But I think she's just banking, right? She's just kind of had her like great run in here, and then she's slipping, but that's okay. And then Navarro, I talked about her already. Keys, Pegula, Goff, you know, three totally different players that are all really good and very even. So it'll be interesting to see who separates out of there. I think Keys has the chance to um, go to three, personally. Maybe even, I don't know, Swiatek seems to be on the way down. Who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't say on the way down, just having a bit of a bad stretch. And then on the men's side, anything interesting? I don't think so, but let's take a quick look. Corda survives. Now, he had a bad Indian Wells, but I do think he went much further in the double. So I don't know necessarily that his game is that far off. Great if he could just make one run and get into the top 20. Tiafo, I mean, let's look at him. 16, 21. Like, lost a bunch of points, had a decent tournament, gets back in, probably U.S. Open. Yeah, it was U.S. Open. Just had some good runs in some American tourneys. Gets back to his old ranking, and now he's just steady Eddie, like 17, 18, 18, 17. He's about the 17th best player in the world. That makes sense. I don't know that he's any better than that. Shelton's the one we need to make a stretch. We talked about it at length last week. He played like an idiot against Draper. Hopefully he grows up and gets smarter with the way he attacks his inferior opponents, because he is superior to Draper. Um, Paul, I don't know. What you see is what you get, right? 15 levels out, 13, 12. Has, oh, jumps up, 9, 9, 9, 10. Back to 13. He is in great shape. He has a very solid, no holes type of game. So we'll see. But he's got to figure out a way to start winning bigger matches. He does. And then Fritz, he's maintained four for a long time after a great run here. And I don't know how much longer he can do that. So we'll have to find out. So that is the State of the Union. We already talked about Miami Open. We discussed Indian Wells. So I think that's about it. Somehow I did another 23 minutes where I thought I didn't have anything to talk about. So maybe I'm getting better at just barfing my ideas out. And that's something. That's something. If I can do it a little bit more with a little bit better enunciation and vocabulary, that would be great also. Enunciation. Oh boy, I better read some stuff on that. Sometimes I feel like I've just got like extra saliva in my mouth, and it's just making my, I don't know, making me slur my words a little bit. Slur my words a little bit. Anyways, all right, I think that's it. Um, we'll see you Thursday. Let me switch over to main cam. All right, so I guess that's it. We will see you Thursday. Thanks for participating. Let's pick up these balls and get out of here.